Hello everyone, this is Serge David. Now, in a recent forum post, Cyber was saying that he was going to make some alterations to the garage to go and hopefully increase the usability for both older and newer players and make it more intuitive. Hopefully it's not too late, but I want to put my 2 cents in. And I'm going to put my 2 cents in on this one topic of the garage, which is parts connected to the mech already, and how you move those around and whatnot. Um, Right now, the only way of really rotating a part is, hold on, let me lock it first, is little thing, and weapons only go 180 degrees forward or backwards. All other parts but cockpits, because you can't rotate cockpits because they need to be facing forward. And I believe thermals might be locked like that way too. And this one rotates 90 degrees, so really nice. That's about it. You can delete a part and you can duplicate a part. That's it. Not very intuitive. There's not much. It's like, kind of like built to grow, but it's not there. And also, there's a lot of times when you're building something and you actually go, oh, I just grabbed my entire build and now I have to move things around again. Um, there's also the hidden things where you have to hold the mouse, like the mouse depressed, and you can then rotate things, either with shift, Q, W, E, A, S, D, or just Q and E. Not many people know that. You have to have the mouse suppressed. It's kind of like hidden in there. It might be in the tutorial now. Um, quick thing I just want to say is the Q and E, a connection point facing up. It cycles through all the connection points that you have on that part and puts them facing up. So let's just go and reconnect this. Reconnect that. Good enough. So, uh, the first thing I want to address is where you just accidentally click and it disconnects. The way I'm thinking about that is changing the way that you grab parts. If you just simply click, I'm going to say a time frame of, let's say, half a second. 1 Mississippi, half of that time. If you just click, nothing happens. We'll say nothing happens. It just, instead of grabbing it, it locks it. So you cog it if you click it for half a second. Longer than that, and you just have to have your mouse on the part, click it, hold it. For longer than a second, it will decide that you actually want to grab it, and then you can pull it around and do whatnot. Half a second is not very long, it's not noticeable. Like 1 Mississippi, less than that. One, like that. Not that noticeable. That will stop this issue where you're grabbing the part and it suddenly leaves your mech. And it locks the part. Now that we've got the part locked, we have it selected. Now I'd probably say highlight it green, just like if when you're holding it like this. When you have it like this, highlight it so it's more visible. It's a very visible thing. And have it locked. Now my next suggestion would get rid of what we have right now. Don't need that visuals. Instead, let's have a nice bigger ring. And I'm going to just duplicate these so I can have little placeholders. My suggestion. So I have this thing locked. I've got my ring of options up here. I want it to be nice and big. I want it to be easy to identify. Button, 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 button. And let's add. You can't see it down there, so we'll do that, and just assume that it's relatively even. We'll put that right there, but let's assume it's down there. So, here's my buttons. I have this locked. Here's my buttons. Duplicate. This one right here. And it adds it to, here or whatever. Somewhere to the side, it makes a copy of it. That way, bam, you have your easy duplicate thing instead of doing this and grabs it and then, yeah, cool thing. Grabs it, and you could like, well, now I need to like fish it out because there's a bunch of parts right there. Just add it to where you our part designated part location or whatever we have. Next thing, this one's, remember it's locked. This one is this lovely thing right here, this little eye. What it will do, it'll pull up a little menu just like this, right here in the corner. When you're hovering over it, when you click on it, when you leave it, whatever, that goes away. That way you can identify a part. Now we need to do something like that with the chassis. Since you can't select it, maybe have something where you can identify it, but for now, that's fine. We're thinking about everything connected to the chassis instead of allowing you to do that. So now here's what the fun parts. This button, this button. And what that does, so I'm going to do it with this part instead. This one right here rotates it that way. Just like that. Just like this function right now. Rotates it rightward. That one rotates it leftward. And what we can do is we can map that to the keyboard. And we'll use the QWE ASD that already exists when you're holding a part. So we can do E this way, or Q that way. So E or Q. Maybe hold shift while you're doing it, whatever. But there's those two buttons, there's the keyboard shortcuts. So we're getting closer to being able to support it on a controller. Or just, instead of having to do everything on the mouse, we can do it with the keyboard. It makes it a little bit faster. Instead of picking it up, rotating it, putting it down, whatever have you. So we've already covered those two. Next two are these two. What that'll do is just like, now let me disconnect this one. Just like E is on this right here, it connects that to this one right here. It does that. And it's only the ones that are currently not in use. So if all these connection points are filled, it'll do nothing. Maybe you have to grayed out showing it's invalid. There's nothing like armor plates that only have one connection point, stuff like that. Gray those out, whatever. It's not that important. So like right here, it can only connect this one or that one. Only cycle between those two. This gone, it can cycle through all these three. And that one's, let's say it mapped to A, and that one mapped to D. So that instantly makes this a lot easier. Now you can go and fiddle a little bit quicker, a little bit faster. Instead of disconnect the part, rotate it, disconnect the part, rotate it, whatever. So, and then you know what the last one is. And this is already in there. You already know which ones they are, because when you're hovering, it automatically shows you which ones you connect to. So you already know which ones are open. These two down here. A little bit more symmetrical. Let's say W and S. And that one, as you can guess it, connects to the next available. So like this one, to this one, to this one. You skip this one because that one's already in use. To this one, and you skip this one because that one's already used, and then to this one down here again. Bam. And now you don't have to precisely get it right on this exact one or right here connected to this one, just the way you want it, just rotated the way you want it. You just connect it here, just hit S like 2 times, and then I want it to, or rotate it up, so say W once, and then I want this to be upside down, so we'll do A, hold on, A, bam. Actually, one more A. Bam. Perfect. Just the way we want it. And then we want it backwards. So we'll hit Q. Bam. Perfect. All that done on the keyboard are done really fast. So, and remember, it's all locked. And it's really simple. It's just quick click to lock it, hold for longer than a second. Just you have to release the mouse after half a second, and it'll drag it around just like normal. And I think that's really intuitive. And then this final button, delete. So that's my thought. That's what I think. I think this might work a little bit better. It should be nice and easy. Easy to understand, hopefully, I would imagine. Of course, you know, there's the fun part of trying to go and get this to work perfectly, especially on controllers, like how do I do and assign this to that, and some other things. But right now I just wanted to focus on that one part, and that's parts that are already connected. Get rid of the accident of accidentally clicking and losing things like this right here. There's just a little delay, so if I'm going to click it real fast and drag while I do it. So, lit up, just already lit up on the mouse, but there's that lag, so you can do that, and it just messes with you. Just quick click, locks it. Click, hold, drag. That's simple. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'd like to thank my Patreon subscribers because they are amazing. I am planning on seeing if I can go and get some kind of reward for Patreon subscribers, so if you want to, you can subscribe to me on Patreon. I do a lot of things for the math community, like hosting game servers, hosting Rockstar Industries. Some of the features are currently not working, but we should be able to get those up whenever I can get things worked out. Sorry for the rambling. Like, subscribe.